News when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Clegg. Wall Street kicked off September on a sour note, with stocks joining a slide in bonds amid heavy corporate debt sales and developed world budget worries. The dollar rose, gold hit a record high. Yields on 30-year treasuries approached 5%, pressuring tech shares whose valuations have widened during a surge from April lows. While the S&P 500 closed well off session lows, almost 400 of its shares retreated. All mega caps slipped, with Nvidia seeing its longest slump since March. The Tuesday numbers on Wall Street: the Dow fell 249, Nasdaq dropped 175, the S&P shed 44. The 10-year Treasury yield is at 4.26%, the 2-year yield at 3.64%. Shares of Nvidia closed down nearly 2% as the company is on track for its first close below a key technical level since May, as investors continue to rotate out of the leading maker of artificial intelligence chips. The stock fell as much as 4% Tuesday, below its 50-day moving average of 170.102. Breaking under this closely watched level is seen as a negative sign of near-term momentum trends. President Trump says the U.S. military targeted a boat carrying drugs from Venezuela, touting the administration's success after deploying naval vessels to the Caribbean as part of a push to stop narco trafficking.
We just, over the last few minutes, literally shot out a boat, a drug-carrying boat, a lot of drugs in that boat, and you'll be seeing that and you'll be reading about that. It just happened moments ago, and
the White House and Pentagon did not immediately respond to questions seeking more information. Soon after Trump spoke, Secretary of State Marco Rubio wrote a social media post saying the military had conducted a lethal strike in the southern Caribbean against a drug vessel which had departed from Venezuela and was being operated by a designated narco-terrorist organization. President Trump says a loss at the Supreme Court for his global tariffs would create a reverberation like maybe you've never seen before. And as for sending National Guard troops to Chicago,
well, we're going in. I didn't say when. We're going in.
President Trump's administration has also announced that U.S. Space Command will be located in Huntsville, Alabama, reversing a Biden-era decision to keep it at its temporary headquarters in Colorado. Space Command's functions include conducting operations like enabling satellite-based navigation and troop communication and providing warning of missile launches. As Congress returns from summer recess and an end-of-month deadline looms for the government to run out of spending authority, House Democratic leader Hakeem Jeffries was asked about the possibility of a failure to act to avert a shutdown.
At the end of the day, Republicans are driving us on a path toward a government shutdown. We are not simply going to sign off on a partisan Republican spending bill that hurts the American people and continues their effort to assault health care.
Iowa Republican Senator Joni Ernst announced she will not run for re-election.
I will always find ways to best serve my community, state, and these great United States of America.
Apple's lead artificial intelligence researcher for robotics has departed the company to join Meta Platforms' competing effort, part of an exodus of AI talent from the iPhone maker. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman says there are a few reasons for these departures, including
the money. The pay packages at Apple pale in comparison for these top-notch academics and AI researchers compared to what you're seeing in some cases at OpenAI, AI, and Anthropic, but the pay packages at Meta are just ridiculous.
It's Mark Gurman speaking with Bloomberg TV. That's news when you want it with Bloomberg News Now. I'm Ed Clegg. This is Bloomberg.